We somehow make this smooth segue to Jamal Crawford. He gets along with everybody. And you want to weigh in on Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson?
Hey, the boat still has a cool name either way.
Yeah, I mean, but then
Right?
people would be like, "Oh, what's a stallion?" I mean, then you have to answer. It's now you can say, "Well, they call me the stallion." You don't have to bring up Megan Thee.
Exactly. If Dan Patrick knows about that story, I'm sure others do as well. Yes.
Okay, I have to apologize
Why?
because I dismissed your ball handling skills because I always looked at you as a scorer.
Right.
And Marvin would send me videos of you playing in summer leagues or in NBA games, and he jogged my memory, and I'm like, oh my God, you got handles that are probably amongst the top 10 handles in NBA history.
So you believe that? So I should thank Marvin for what happened
Yes,
right there.
yes.
Marv, thank you. Thank you for Dan knows about Meg and Clay, but not about the handles that have been.
Who has a better handle than you?
I won't say anybody has a better handle than me, and I won't say I have a better handle than anybody. But there was a realm of people. I always give Isaiah Thomas his credit because that's who I watched growing up. Kyrie, Pistol Pete, White Chocolate. I think like Baron Davis has an underrated handle. Steve Francis, a lot of guys like that.
Oh.
Chris Paul.
Okay. Yeah, Kyrie is given credit, I think, by most people having the best handles, certainly in traffic, which is really, I want to see your handle in traffic. Anybody can dribble when they're out there by themselves.
So who's your top 5 handles? The better question.
Well, I did see Maravich play in person, and he was actually underrated, I think. People forget Pete was so far ahead of his time. Did Magic have a great handle?
Not in the traditional sense that we're talking about,
Yeah.
like that can shake. Magic was more angles, speeds. He'll bump you, he'll get the angle, and he'll speed up. And that's where the showtime. Magic was a whole movement, but it wasn't the handle part that I would remember most about it.
What about Tim Hardaway?
He would be up there. The killer crossover, the UTEP two-step. His crossover was like, it was right after Isaiah, so it was still like really in the box. What I mean by that is myself, Iverson, we dribbled outside of our shoulder, so we stayed outside the box. Hardaway, Isaiah Thomas, they stayed in the box. But Kyrie does a little bit of both, and that's what makes him ridiculous.
That's interesting when you say in the box because that's tight quarters, and you're shaking somebody. And Timmy's, I mean, that crossover was killer. Now he would bump you a little bit with his off arm.
I saw that in the summer at Hoops, the gym, playing with him and Michael Jordan. He was at the Heat at the time. I saw all the bumps, and I was a young guy coming up, so we had some battles there.
Did Jordan have a good handle?
His handle was to him. Like he would surprise you with a crossover, but his footwork was so good that it made the handle better. So if he got to a spot and then he up fade, started doing his footwork, that's what made his handle special. But it wasn't like the handle like we're talking about.
What was the scouting report on Jordan?
Don't make him mad. You heard Byron Scott. Don't make him mad. He takes it all personal. Everything's personal. You know that, Dan. Yeah. I was watching the last dance, heard your voice on. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it? Just don't make him mad?
Don't make him mad. I mean, he was just so possessed. And we talk about talent. We talk about people that can shoot or can do this or that. His competitive spirit alone would have beat 99% of the players who ever played. Just how competitive he was in everything.
You worked with Wemby over the summer on his handle?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a couple summers ago, but he tried last summer and I couldn't. I was actually coaching. But yeah, we're connected for the future as well.
Okay. Are you going to work out with him this offseason?
I'm pretty sure we'll lock in and get out if he has time. I mean, if he wins this championship and goes on this run and goes home. But yeah, I'm sure in the future we'll work together.
But what are you working on specifically with Wembanyama?
Well, with him, a lot of it was the handle, of course, but it was the footwork as well. And the footwork translates everywhere. If you're at the top of the key with the handle, if you're in the mid-post area, if you're by the block, what people don't really realize about handle is the ones who are really special with their handle, their footwork matches their handle. So we work on his footwork every single area. And I have to say, he probably downloaded things the fastest. Like if I say something, he's like, got it, and can do it immediately. People I've worked with before, it may take a couple weeks, a couple months. He could do it in 5 minutes. I've never seen anything like it.
But what does he need to add to his offensive game?
That's a great question. At that time, I thought it was the mid-post area because I thought where he was going in the playoffs, I thought, and I'll tell you this because you're, a legend, I'll tell you, but when he reached out to me, I reached out to Pop. And I asked Pop, like, hey, where do you see him going? Because I didn't want him doing my stuff and the N1 stuff if it wasn't going to fit in the Spurs system. Right? I didn't want him up there rolling on the ground and doing that. So Pop was like, I want him in that nail area. I want him in that Dirk area because I know where we're going. That's the area that's going to get him space and he'll be able to dominate. And so that was a huge focus as well, is putting him in those areas. And we watched film. We watched film with a player we're going to kind of mimic that night for the second workout.
Yeah, you think about guys who changed the game. You mentioned Magic changed the game. You can go back to probably Bob Cousy changed the game. There's certain guys who changed the game when they came along. Steph Curry has changed the game.
Absolutely.
I don't know did Michael change the game because he didn't have that signature. Like Steph changed. He had more of an impact on basketball than anybody, I think, because everybody thinks they can shoot threes now. Nobody thought they could jump like Mike, be like Mike. But I'm just curious the number, because Wemby feels like he's going to change the game.
To answer the first part, Mike, to me, didn't change the game. In a way, he became above the game. It was almost like he transcended sport in a way where you wanted to be like Mike. I didn't care what you did, soccer, football, baseball. He inspired boxing, whatever it was. He inspired, except Mike Tyson when they ran into each other. But he inspired everybody else in every single thing. So he made you want to be better at whatever you did. So that was Mike. So he was a little bit above the game. Wemby, I always say this, he was the creative player that creative players would create. So, for example, if LeBron and KD were playing 2K, and they're like, man, I want this 7'3" dude, 7'4" dude who can shoot with handles, who can run like a gazelle, like it would be Wemby. He's the one that they would create to play if they were just playing around a video game.
Did Dirk Nowitzki change the game?
He did from the standpoint of shooting, because at that point, for somebody that shot that good, it was like Larry Bird, 6'9", 6'10". Dirk's championship run is really one of the great ones in recent memory. It was so underrated for what he did and how he did it, who he was going against with that great team. And at that time, like Jason Terry, a 6 man, was probably his second best scorer, right? And he just kind of put him on their back. And actually, that was a person, I showed a video to Wemby when we were watching Dirk in that finals run. We were watching the areas he was dominating and how he was doing it. But yeah, Dirk changed the game in a small way. I don't think he'll get credit like Steph will.
Yeah, and that mid-range, Kevin Durant's made a Hall of Fame career out of that mid-range jumper. And it feels like, and I always encourage players, take it. If they're giving it to you, take it. And Durant has done that.
Well, Dan, if I tell you I'm gonna drive to your studio, and you're like, hey, the freeway is probably the quickest way, but right now it's a car accident, so it's backed up. I'm gonna give you some streets to go through. I'm gonna go through the streets. Right now, the mid-range is available because everybody's trying to take out threes and layups. It's like the jab in boxing. I think it keeps the defensive honest. Could you imagine if Shea couldn't play in the mid-range, or Michael Jordan, or LeBron, or KD? And it's funny, in the most important times of the season, the playoffs, nobody talks about, oh, that's a bad shot. It's like, no, move that scoreboard any way you can. The best players I've ever seen dominate the mid-range because it's hard to double team there, and you keep people so off balance with that shot. Talking
to Jamal Crawford. I love talking to you. NBA,
I love talking about why did it take so long? Yeah, you're giving Reg all the love right now.
You're right. You're right. It's an open invite, and now that Marvin has let me know that I missed out on your handles, God, I can't believe it.
There's YouTube. You can still go back.
Marvin sends me videos. I'm being honest. Yes, Marv.
The move against Kirk Heinrich is easily one of the 5 nastiest moves in the history of the NBA.
Marv, I'm going to tell you this. I played with Kirk in Chicago when he kind of knew how my handle pattern would go. And I made that move up on the fly. I was literally coming down court saying, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I did it. And I was like, what did I do? And that's why you've never seen it again, because I never mastered it. It was actually absolutely on accident. So I appreciate that.
Why's it got to be against a white guy, Marvin, that you're going to single that out?
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
Man.
I mean, he got Wes Matthews. He got Ray Allen. I mean, he was an equal
There you go.
opportunity.
Yeah, I was an equal opportunity ankle taker. I didn't care about that.
Jason Williams had that was the fun to handle. Everything about, and his ability to pass as well. When you factor that in, you can have a handle, but he used his handle to create opportunities, it felt like, for his teammates.
And he was so fun to watch. Like his entertainment value was just unbelievable. And he had a totally different skip and rhythm to his handle. I'll tell you a funny story. When I was a rookie, Chris Webber obviously was playing with Sack at the time, and he knew I had a handle. And it was in the layup line, and Chris got Jason Williams' attention. Like, look at Jamal. And I'm like, oh, I'm on stage. I don't even know what combination I did, but I was trying to show Jay Will that I had a handle as well. And getting Will's approval, like, yeah, you can dribble. I was like, yeah. I didn't even play that night, but I went home and told everybody Jay Will saw my
I want to add this to NBA terminology: shots discouraged.
Okay.
So Wemby, he discourages a lot of shots. They should keep a stat of shots discouraged. And, I mean, maybe it's only a stat for Wemby because I love watching him play. But the number of shots that he discourages, not even blocks, but discourages from you even taking the shots.
Well, he scares you. He's almost like the big kid where as a kid you have to check his birth certificate to see if he's really that age. Like, he's setting you up. He'll turn his back, like, go ahead and shoot. No, I'm going to get it. He's like something I've never seen before. And what I figured out about him is, working with him, he's a big, but he's really a tall guard. Like, I thought I was a tall guard at 6'5", and then you saw guys like Durant, McGrady, who are taller than me that can really handle the ball. And then he just took it to somewhere we never thought would take it. When you see him, Dan, what excites you about him?
I looked at his touch. That when he shoots, I wanted to see form. I wanted to see rotation. I wanted to see touch. Obviously, the defensive stuff was there. When he first got to San Antonio, I said, you got to get him a point guard to put him in position to score.
Right. We all did. Yeah.
And it felt like he'd get down, when you see a deer, when it's born and it's kind of stumbling a little bit, he didn't know where to set up. And I kept thinking, he's already an A on the defensive end, but he was probably a B- on the offensive end. And I said, boy, if he ever gets up to where he's going to be the best player in the sport, he'll be the face of the sport. And that's happening maybe a little quicker than people thought.
So much quicker. And the way he thinks, like the dinners we went to were even more impressive than the encore work. Like he read 50 books last year, and he didn't even tell me that stat. So that's a book a week that he read last year. Like, he's a brilliant, brilliant young man. It feels like you're talking to somebody much older, but just the way he's almost like, we know the freakish stuff he does, but the role player type things he does. He sprints every single time. He sprints into a screen. If he doesn't get the ball, he's not mad. He's sprinting back. He'll run for rotation. Everything he does, it's like he plays with the energy. He's trying to make the team. Oh, and by the way, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But that's what the NBA should show at the rookie seminar is that guy wants to play and be great every night. There's no load management. I mean, a blood clot stopped him, but not much else, if he gets banged up a little bit, which he will as a big man. But I love that he wants to play, and he wants to be great. He wants to be the MVP. He wants to be the defensive player of the year.
To be that young, just take out the stuff he does, just to be that age, most guys are just trying to establish himself. He's already so far down the road that he's like, no, I understand my responsibility to the game itself. We have to grow this game. We have to, make this game. Look at the USA versus the world game. He made that single-handedly competitive again. Yeah. We've been our game to be competitive. Like, he understands the responsibility. I saw a picture of Joker the last time they played, and Joker went off and they won. But there was a picture of Joker kind of looking up at Wendy smiling, and I said, Joker feels like how we do when we watch him. This is the first time he's like really excited. Like, oh my, I have somebody to keep me engaged in the game. Like, it's a whole different thing.
What happens if the Pistons bow out?
I'm going to be honest. I thought they would lose in the first round. And I know Paolo's a Seattle guy. I just did because I thought once you put 2 on Cade, as good as he is, who else is going to consistently be able to be a playmaker consistently? Because in the playoffs, they want to take out your first 2 options. Cade's gone. Who else can do it consistently to beat a team? And I wasn't sure they could do it in a playoff setting.
Has Peyton Pritchard played in your Pro-Am League?
He has not. And he's close by. He's in Oregon in the summer. So I've tried to get it, but I think I got to make it happen. I think if I just tell him, you only get to shoot shots where the quarter's about to end, I think that would excite him because he makes all every.
I send Marvin summer league videos of Peyton Pritchard playing, and he. That's why this shouldn't be a surprise what he's doing with Boston. Like even in college, he was a great scorer in college, but I would send those videos to Marvin and Peyton Pritchard. He can be nasty.
He absolutely can. You guys are changing notes now. You're like, okay, here's Crawford. Let me show you this. Yeah. I see what you did. Hey, great, because he hired some of his friends, right? And he hired them that play basketball just to guard him in the summer. All different sizes of guys, 6'7". Okay, this guy's 6'2", this guy's 6'4", and he had to figure it out. So it slows the game down for you. That was a brilliant way to train as well. So it makes sense why he's tough to guard.
Wait a minute. He hired friends of varying sizes to guard him?
Yeah, and all they do is guard for summer. And he has to figure them out. Okay, this guy likes to do this. This guy does this. And it's a huge advantage because you're seeing people from different, athleticism standpoints and everything else.
Great to talk to you.
Always. You're the man. Thank you.
Jamal Crawford. Always appreciate his wisdom. NBA on NBC, game analyst. 3-time Sixth Man of the Year. Played 20 years in the league. Has one of the best handles, Marvin, of anybody who's ever played the game.